We're actually slapping at mosquitoes right now because
Yeah,
we are down in Florida.
Down in Florida.
Yep, and we finished yesterday one of the biggest hunts we have been wanting to do for a long time, and that's with Python Cowboy.
Oh, that guy is amazing, and he's just such a unique person. Has such a unique thing going on down here. He's, basically trying to take care of like the iguanas, the pythons, all the invasive species that have came in down here and are just basically destroying the habitat and the environment down here. I mean, they are just wiping it out. So he came on, and I mean, we met him yesterday. Such a down-to-earth guy, great guy. But we came in and we're at West Palm Beach is where we came to. And we flew in down here, excited about it. This is probably the best hunt of the year for us, or the very top, because we get to hunt with him for one.
Oh, yeah.
And two, we did the iguana hunt.
Yeah.
So I mean, out of all the things we've done, this was one of the top, most unique hunts. We probably the most interesting hunt too, because we were doing something for. As much as we hunt the hogs down in Texas, the same thing here. Those hogs are destroying the land, all the agriculture in Texas. Same thing, the iguanas. They're basically, burrowing up in all the levees and things and destroying all these, the infrastructure and the levees and stuff. And that's one of the reasons that he hunts iguanas.
Right.
So,
and in fact, he was telling us yesterday that there were so many iguanas burrowing underneath one of the cranes.
Right.
It actually destroyed that equipment. And I mean, this is a bigger deal than people actually think, actually know what it is. So.
Yeah, most people don't realize how big of a deal it is. I mean, and these things are everywhere. If you talk to anybody down here, like, oh yeah, they're all over our backyard, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But there's no predators really for them. I mean, we're the predators. Mike is the guy that's doing it, and along with other contractors that are doing it, but he's probably the biggest for sure. But man, I mean, just to start the hunt out, it couldn't have been any better. We go into a canal, and that he's hunted before, and we're motoring down in like a pontoon boat. You guys will see this, but we're motoring down the canal, and dude, there's just iguanas here, iguanas there, big ones. I mean, just one of the coolest things you've ever seen. But he's got the setup. I mean, he's got the air rifles, he's got the best part of the whole deal, one of the best things was the dog.
Yep.
I mean,
absolutely.
His dogs are phenomenal. And this dog retrieves the iguanas after you shoot them. Her name was Rogue, so you guys will see that. And she was on fire. She's a crackerjack for sure, man. She really made the hunt. I mean, we had some great video of her. She would retrieve their iguanas, bring them back. But, man, we ended up, Rob was diving for one, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
so the whole crew that we had, so we started out, we had the whole crew. We had Rob, Chuck D, Paul, you, and I, which those first three are actually still in bed right now.
They're still trying to recover.
They got back in last night about 5:30.
Got a little too early in the morning, that's right.
So here's to cheers to drinking
here's
at 10 a.m.
10 o'clock in the morning. You see, we're doing it and they're not. So.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're out there, and I mean, it was all hands. I mean, we were in it. And that's what Mike was looking for. Trapper Mike was looking, he really wanted us to be a part of it. So we're dipping down in water. We're jumping in. We're getting after them. We're pulling them out of holes. I mean,
leave no iguana behind.
Exactly.
Man. That's
exactly.
We got after them. If we shot it, we were going to get it. We was going to retrieve it. So I mean, and you wouldn't believe how far these canals run.
Yeah.
Like he said, like 500 miles or something or more on some of these canals that they just run, and we're just motoring down in a pontoon boat, and he's got the setup and everything, and
playing music, three air rifles.
Yeah, I mean,
got Matt driving the boat.
Matt's driving the
boat.
Matt,
let's talk about Matt. Real quick.
Matt killed it yesterday.
Yes,
sure.
He was an iguana spotting king.
Yes,
and let's talk about the highlight of yesterday.
Yeah.
So we see. Of course, when we shoot, we're very careful because there are houses on these canals. So we make sure that there's a safe backdrop. Mike definitely makes sure of that. So,
right.
I mean, we really err on the side of caution. So what we did, we saw 3 iguanas, and Rob and Paul decided to jump out of the boat and get up on the levee, so they've got a good safe backdrop. Well, these iguanas are running, and they smoke them from 50, 70 yards away.
Yeah.
And these guns are not meant to shoot over 30.
Yeah.
You know, and Rob being the sharpshooter that he is.
Right.
And Paul too, they smacked him.
Yeah, Paul shoots the big one.
He shoots the big
like
one.
55 yards.
Yes.
It was a long shot.
So this iguana dips down off the levee and gets up into a tree. Well, Buck and Matt and Chuck D are still on the pontoon boat, so they come around to meet us up at the tree. And we're like, oh, you know, we are over there looking for him. We think we lost him. And we're like, man, all right, well, you know, I guess we didn't get him. So we start backing out, and Matt notices some dripping into the water. He goes, man, that's blood dripping in the water. I'm like, what? And like we get up on it, and it's, by golly, it's some red blood dripping in the water.
You could tell it was. Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, and you knew, like, it after you watch it, you knew, you're like, well, it's not raining.
Yeah.
It's
definitely not
steady
raining red
flow.
blood. I hope not.
And we're like, yeah, this is it. And so sure enough, we get up there, and I look up, and I can see him up there, and I can see his legs. So anyway, we're like, oh, and so I move around, and he moves. So anyway, Trapper Mike gets up on the tree, moves around. Paul gets up there, shoots him. Literally, you'll see this thing falls probably, I don't know, 20, 30 feet straight from the tree.
Yeah, he
Dang near takes out me and the boat and the dog.
Yeah.
Hits down and starts sinking. And
they sink immediately.
Right, and that's when Big Rob jumps in and
does about 4 or 5 dives.
Does about 4 or 5 dives really deep. I mean, he goes down and gets after it, and man, that was probably the prize of the day because we were all excited. He did retrieve it, and it was a big iguana, and he lifted it up. It was really cool. So, but listen, if it wasn't for Matt seeing that, you know, we would have never got that iguana because he was really still, and Matt just saw the dripping. Actually, and Matt saw another one in the tree when we were cruising by. We had never looked up at the trees and seen him there, and Matt was like, oh yeah, there's one right there. Just, you know, so Matt's a great guy and a great hunter. I mean, and a good guy too. You know, super nice guy. So, you know, Mike's got an awesome team. I mean, just as good as it can be, man.
He's as good as choosing a team as he is taking care of these invasive species. He's knowledgeable, educated. He is a pro. He can tell you every single species that's invasive out here, the ones that are not. I mean, this is his life, and he is great at it.
Yeah, he's done his homework, and I'll tell you, if you guys want to come and have a fun time, and take care and do something that's good for the environment and the habitat, come down here with him. Take a trip. I mean, now I will say this: he is a popular person because he is. It took us a while. I mean, I mean, June, and I mean, we started looking at it in January, so you got to get on the books with him. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, a great time.
I think the only reason why we got on because Rob was like friends with him and like his 23rd follower.
Yeah.
You know, it's
absolutely. Yeah. He that's how we learned about it. But I mean, he does this. We're doing a python hunt tonight. He does hog hunts. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. I mean, but his whole purpose, and you can tell this, is to take care of these, you know, these species that are not good for our environment, that are harming our environment, and he's taking it as a passion. You can tell. I mean, really, like I said, one of the most down-to-earth guys you'll ever meet.
Oh, yeah.
Most knowledgeable guy you'll ever meet, for sure, as far as anything in Florida and down in this area. So if you guys have not looked him up, go to his YouTube page, Python Cowboy, and watch the videos.
Instagram as well.
Instagram, yeah, he's just, it's a great deal. So anyway, we had a great hunt. Perfect.
Cheers to them.
Cheers to them, you know. And I mean, it was, we're rocking along tonight to the python hunt. So this ought to be an interesting thing to see us go out there, and we hunt these at dark. So we'll have another episode on this one for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about this one. But here,
you know, we got a good whiskey going since we're always doing our podcast. We're doing on bourbon, so
because this is really good for 10 a.m.
Oh yeah, so this is George Dickel 18-year limited release, and we picked this. You know, I guess when you talk about whiskeys or bourbons, most people know of they think of older whiskey. They think of Jack Daniels. They think of George Dickel. They think of different things like this. So we picked. This was a rare find, and this is it was released in the winter of 2023, just you know, a few months ago. So anyway, I did a little research on it, and it's unique because George Dickel actually came from Germany and moved here from Germany, and I think when he was 26 years old, and resided in Tennessee. Started this distillery, or started George Dickel, the bourbon or the whiskey, in 1870. Kind of unique thing there. It was distilled, or he made it in Cascade Hollow, and started selling the spirits and the whiskey in Nashville. So it's right, I guess Cascade Hollow is right outside of Tullahoma or somewhere in the
Tullahoma
States.
is actually...
That's where your grandmother lives, right?
Yeah.
So
I've got some good connection to this.
Right. And a unique fact about this is that the water they use for this whiskey, it literally comes from a creek that is, the creek is made or coming out of a well that's about 3 miles up from the distillery. And this well, the water in it is has a lot of limestone in it.
Just similar to Jack Daniel's, actually. Jack Daniel's, I've been to their distillery, and they've got something very similar. Their water coming out has a lot of limestone in it.
Right, so it makes it
and
smooth.
they're 10 miles from each other.
And it's got to be something with the water in this area because it makes it smooth, it takes the iron out of it. So that's one of the keys to it. I mean, that's the unique thing about this. The mashing part of this, it's 84% corn.
You're good, keep going.
8% rye, 8% malted barley. So anyway, it's probably one of the most well-known bourbons or whiskeys in there. I think he passed away. George Dickel passed away in 1894. His wife Augusta and her brother or his brother-in-law Schwab was the founders of it. And anyway, I think they actually closed it due to Prohibition. They opened it back up in Kentucky. And then another company bought it out and opened it and created a whole other distillery right beside Cascade Hollow. And another fun fact, when he actually brought out this whiskey, he created his whiskey. It was called Cascade Hollow whiskey, and it was from Tennessee, and that's how it was known, really. And so anyway, they opened it up. They opened the distillery back up in Cascade Hollow, and created a new one. And so it's just one of the most unique whiskeys and bourbons we've ever had. It's aged for 18 years, as you can see. It's 90 proof, and like I said, it was released in 2023. So this is a unique bourbon, and one of the most well-known. If you talk about any whiskeys or bourbons, you're gonna hear George Dickel. You'll know right off the bat who it is and what's going on. So the taste, kind of vanilla, fruit, and a little bit of spice.
Heavy vanilla.
Yeah, heavy vanilla, a little bit of spice. The master distiller is Nicole Alston, and she's won lots of awards ever since she's taken it over and taken over the thing. I think she started in 2018, but she's won a lot of awards ever since she's been the master distiller of the place. But anyway, I just, a unique find for us and a great bourbon, and we were just like, might as well jump in here and this is one of the best hunts of the year for us, so we figured we might as well have one of the best bourbons of the year too. So anyway,
exactly.
But I guess, man, that's, cheers again, Clay, for a great hunt, and then great whiskey, and we will continue tonight. You guys stay tuned for the next episode of the Python hunt. So we're excited for it. You guys hang in there.
Hang in there, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.